I don't know whether it's actually going to be live or not. But uh, felt like doing this. I just like wanted to play some Minecraft Hardcore. I didn't really want any background noise. I kind of just wanted to talk to people about the new video that just went out. Uh, Let me put that in the Discord server. Early bird. Um. All right. So people should be notified about this now. There are some ground rules. I tested it. I wanted to see how the game ran. I should be able to stream this pretty well, I think. I'll call this 1. 2 a.m. Yes. Well, 11 p.m. for me. I just feel like doing it. I stay up really late typically. Um, I doubt I'll beat it. I just want to get in like a few attempts. I've always wanted to beat Minecraft Hardcore. This has been like one of my longest standing goals for the game. I haven't beaten Minecraft that many times either. Like for context. Some minor ground rules, and I'll cover this. Is there are mods, but they are all entirely performance, like that stuff mods. Like you'll see here, we have it's all just to try and let's see, where can I? Ah, dang it! I wanted to, whatever. I just wanted to do this. I wanted to talk to people about the new video. I doubt anyone will watch this, really. That's part of why it's the Secret Evil stream. I'm already getting lag. Of course I am. Performance mode. Of course it runs buttery smooth when I'm not trying to stream. Okay, let me lower it down to like 160. That should be pretty close to my monitor's refresh rate. Yeah, that's more consistent. So yeah, I've got Distant Horizons. Let me turn down the music. Yeah, this is not a good start location. Yeah, I want to talk about the new video. So a little bit of background on the new video's development. That video should have been done like a month ago. And while some of my own procrastination was definitely a factor in that video's slow development, okay, is that a temple there? I think we got at least a temple to start with. That's not bad. I'm clicking these just in case. I've had some hardcore runs that really surprised me with what I got, and I'm just like, damn, if only I had book equipment and I could make enchanted stuff. I think this is my first time playing this version of Minecraft specifically. Screen froze? Is it not? Window. Okay, there it goes. But yeah, it really is Secret and Evil. So yeah, the latest video almost didn't happen. I had to restart development on that video like 3 or 4 times due to various technical problems. One of the big problems I was having is a lot of recordings would sound good, like at the start, like when I would do test recordings and just plop them into the software, and be like, you know, that works, it's serviceable, is what I kept thinking. There is nothing in this world. I might... This is the beauty of Distant Horizons. I can see shit for miles, and there is nothing here. Is that something? I see something green in abundance over there. I think... Yes, okay. We're not screwed entirely. We can play this world. Yeah, bunnies, but I don't have anything to kill them with. I can punch them, but that wastes saturation. And time. I have limited time in the day before it goes to night. So yeah, that video really fought me at every turn. I'm really glad with how it turned out overall. I think the weird, frantic pace of me trying to re-stitch together the video does lead to a very engaging pace. I will say, if I had finished the cut that was almost the final cut, the one that made it damn near to the end, I don't think I would have figured out the box, because that came from the final cut. And I don't think the video would be as good. And I don't know if I would have finished it for a release date of today. I think it would have been stuck developing about another day. I think it would have come out tomorrow, which is a small difference. Sure. But, it would have taken, like, another day to really finish it. I still don't know what went wrong. Let's see, is there a bit of exposed stone anywhere? I still don't know what quite went wrong with the... Okay, there's a village, good. And stone. With the cut that I had, it was about 1 hour and 10 minutes long. It was mostly done. Or not mostly, it was about half done. I was about, like, 40 minutes in development of it. Not 40 minutes I had spent, but 40 minutes of the final cut were about prepared. And then something corrupted in it, and I still don't understand why or how. Taking that. And that pretty much, like, it wasn't even corrupted. The file opened, it just wouldn't let me edit anything, and it wasn't like a setting thing. I couldn't find anything on it. It's a little hard to explain. I just tried to right-click harvest, which is not a mod I have installed. I'm used to more modded Minecraft. There's some quality of life features that are going to catch me off guard. Ooh, bundle. I haven't really used bundles, so... Okay. The bundles are a little bit newer than the last time I really sat down and tried to play the game. Scott stole the file, so I couldn't reveal find the OG box. I'm pretty... I think if the boxes... If the microphone was like a joystick, like an arcade joystick, I think I would be 200% on board with that theory. I still think it's plausible. Like, I still think that's... In fact, I would say it's likely. Everything else tracks to a very uncanny degree. I'm not going for world record. I'm going for completing hardcore at all. I need shush. So I don't plan on making like a proper base of operations really. I do plan on doing this like speedrun route style where I try to just get to the end of the game as fast as possible. I don't want to, like, linger on this. I want to try and, whatchamacallit, just, like, get it over with. Like, the ideal version of this is that I finish this in, like, 1 2-hour, 3-hour stream. Would you ever consider streaming TF2? I don't really play TF2. I have nothing against it. I liked it for, like, about 5 days when I was 12, I think. But I think I liked the world of TF2 a little bit more than actually playing it with people who were good at it. You are more likely to get, like, another Marvel Rivals stream, or an actual Marvel Rivals stream. I never really got to do like a real one. Oh yeah, there's spears now. I can, right? I think those are in the game. Just because it's like a new feature, I want to make one real quick. I know it's not going to be really practical. Let's see. So it's... Okay, so it's faster than the axe. Okay, I get it. And it has further reach, if I recall correctly. And also, it scales with momentum, if I remember correctly. If you do the right click. Okay. I need, like, a bigger food source. Good damage with Elytra. I'm probably not gonna get an Elytra this run. I like that. It's kind of one of those I'll consider it beaten. How does this work? Is this good for fishing? The answer is no. It's not a good tool for fishing. I really need iron. But salmon, I think, are actually a good food resource to get a bunch. Ooh, actually... cookies aren't worth it, right? Cookies actually kind of suck. They're more just like a thing you can make for fun. Like, they don't... There is no meta application of a cookie, if I remember correctly. Which, I'm all for playing, like Minecraft as, like, a silly, goofy little adventure game. But this is a hardcore run. I didn't even remember baby salmon being a thing in this game. Considering strictly like this is a hardcore run, it's not going to go easy on me. I forgot pigs can be brown now. I'm used to... Okay, and then there's a pit over there. Okay, so we got a lot of the basic stuff down. Like, we have food. Let me get some more wood. We just need to, like, really start hunkering down in some mines. And now that I have a bed, I can just... I'm just going to keep skipping that. I'm going to play it safe. Like, we have no reason to fight mobs right now. While I'm kind of just looking around for iron, collecting, like, basic resources. What are this chat's thoughts on the new video? Because like I was really hyped for it. I really enjoyed making it. So how does the right click mode? Okay. So you just hold right click and you hope you fucking hit something, basically. Okay. That's what I'll use it for. I'll use it for, like, a jump slash. Now, let's see. 3, 4, 3. 66247. Lava. Okay, that's notes down. This can probably get me into a good cave. And there's gravel there, so we have flint and steel when we inevitably need it. And copper tools and stuff now exist, correct? There's no name? There actually was a name. Absolute Victim or Absolute 87 were the names the video was supposed to, like, the silly theory names the video was supposed to have. It just didn't end up panning out in the final cut because I forgot to include the explanation of the gag. So, much like Molten MCI Alter S, like, there's a very pop culture-y kind of bit to the name of, to like, Absolute. Which is, it's a reference to the DC Comics Absolute, which I really enjoy right now. I've read Absolute Superman Volume 1, Absolute Batman Volume 1. I'm going to get Absolute Flash soon. It just came out, like, today, I think. And I'm reading Absolute Wonder Woman. I haven't finished yet. I'm about like a third of the way through it. I've been really hunkering down making videos. That's yes. I'm obviously going for armor before the Nether. This is hardcore. This is like in normal difficulty Minecraft, you actually can get by a decent amount without like the essential armor stuff. Not in hardcore. I don't think diamond armor is entirely necessary. But I wouldn't go into the Nether without at least full iron and some good amount of artillery. Like just something it doesn't even need to be a crossbow. It just needs to be like oop, that's god damn it. This is why. Okay, actually, before I even go further into this, let me, like, set up a, not base, but like a, just a little corner here to start cooking some of my resources. I think there's some minor details I'm a little split on throughout that video. Like the certain exact specifics of some of the FNAF World dialogue, I play it a little bit more confident than I really am in the video. Because I talk about the stuff I am confident in that video. There's a lot of stuff I'm more meandering about my thoughts. So, to explain Absolute a little bit more, I just realized I didn't finish that thought, really. Absolute Batman is a world where Batman, or Bruce Wayne, I should say, his parents aren't rich. His dad's like a teacher. His mom, I think she's like a social worker. She has like some government job. Is that what a social worker is? I'm trying to remember what that job actually is. I just kind of said that, but now I'm not 100% sure what it is. But she's like a I don't know. She does something government-esque or whatever. It felt like, or something like that. I don't remember. His mom hasn't been brought up a lot. But she's been. It's the first volume's a little bit more about his connection with his dad before his death. And his dad's a teacher. He's the chaperone for their trip to the zoo, where there's a school shooting, and his dad ends up getting killed while Bruce and a lot of the other kids are hiding in the Bat exhibit. And that's the explanation of the Batman in this world. So he's not rich. He has a much more humble origin in many regards. A lot of stuff is a lot more homemade in general. And okay, Okay, I guess I can't put tools in. A lot of his, like, talent comes from, like, knowing things around the city and being like, I worked in these tunnels for 6 months so I could strategize around when the party animals would attack. The party animals being, like, the main villains of the first volume. They're kind of like these very techy, I guess, like, mafia type is how I would describe them. They they distribute, like, these headsets, right, that you can get everyone, and it tells people what people are worth to be brought into the mob. So, for example, Martha Wayne, who I think is running for mayor, she and Gordon and a few others are all, like, major targets by the party animals who have, like, $10 million bounties on their heads. And that's, like, one of the points of conflict. But, Bruce is also even more jacked than usual. He's fucking huge. And Alfred, instead of being a butler, is still, I think MI6 is the British secret intelligence, equivalent to the CIA in America. And he's just studying, like, he's just investigating the party animals in Gotham is the only reason he's down there. And then he finds interest in Batman and kind of reluctantly becomes one of his helpers in trying to clean up Gotham. And the flip side, like, the whole premise of Absolute is every character has, like, a part of their origin story fundamentally changed that sounds essential but really isn't. Another being, so Absolute Superman, instead of being sent to Earth as a baby with almost no memories of Krypton, he is sent to Earth. He lives on Krypton all the way, like, up until he's, like, I think about 11, 12, and then Krypton explodes, and his family and him were supposed to all leave together, but their ship gets caught up in the explosion, and only Clark's escape pod makes it out of the actual death of Krypton. And so he's just, like, left drifting with Solar, the ship's AI, like, searching for a new planet for him to live. So he's, like, stuck there for, like, 5 years on his tiny little escape pod, only surviving because of, like, the yellow sun rays he passes by every now and then. I think there's some other implied, like, emergency saving things, but whatever. So he kind of crashes on Earth because they finally find a habitable place. And so it takes him a bit for Solar to learn English to translate it for Clark so he can finally start speaking English. And while he's figuring out the language, he's staying with the Kents, kind of like usual Superman mythos stuff. But there's a little bit more of a, like, oh, this humble farm boy who's just trying to help it, or this humble, like, foreigner, I guess, from their point of view. We gotta help out, and he's helping around on the farm and all that. Their dynamic is similar yet different. But Superman's still good and still, like, pure-hearted. He's very much Superman still, but there's a different, more frustrated energy to him because he knows now. You know, normal Superman doesn't think about stuff like, oh, what Krypton did that failed and got destroyed and all that, really. That's not, like, a major part of the Superman storyline as much from Clark's point of view. It is for us, the audience, that, like, Krypton was basically abused by the Kryptonians in many regards, and they didn't listen to Jor-El's scientific warnings that they were destroying their planet and all that, which is, like, a more adapted thing nowadays. And it's very much the case in Absolute Superman. But since he actually grew up knowing the teachings of his dad and how everything was being handled, he's much more frustrated on Earth because he sees them making all the same mistakes that led to Krypton's destruction. And he can't really do anything about it other than try to speed up military suits and corporations and stuff. And Solar, the AI that is meant to like serve him and help him, it's just like, why do you care? We should just live on this planet. You won. You survived the explosion of Krypton. We need to get out of here. But of course, Superman really wants to actually like help people and save this world and prevent it from undergoing the same disaster. So there's that kind of back and forth. Yeah, it is a little dark. I forget that. I forget that, like, the stream stuff. Let me turn it up. Turn up the brightness some. That didn't help much. Sure. Thought this would be more of a substantial cave. I mean, it's got me iron. I really just need iron. I don't really need many other resources. I mean, diamonds would be nice, but I can look for diamonds while I'm looking for the stronghold. Or if I find a better cave and all that. There's other scenarios and times for it. Yeah, I'm glad everyone liked the video. Let me see. Can you place a torch? Here, I'll turn it up. This is as bright as it gets. Which is still not even that bright on my point of view. It's just stream degradation. The stream always looks a little worse. But I really like the absolute stuff. There's this weird, like, 90s style edginess to it all, but it feels like it's filtered through people who actually know how to write. A lot, like, there's a kind of cliche that, like, a lot of 90s comics didn't actually have really that good of writing, but they were very carried by their concepts and visuals. Spawn's kind of one of those. It's like, Spawn is cool, but it's not, for a lot of its existence, it's not actually, like, super rich in substance other than the fact that it's cool. And I can say that having read a decent amount of the Spawn Volume 1 Compendium, which is like a giant phone book of Spawn comics, and yeah, it's not one of those where it's like, oh, it was a misunderstood masterpiece. It's like, no, it's a cool looking comic book. He has a sick cape, he has cool powers. It's well posed and drawn. It's like incredibly beautifully detailed in its design schemes and stuff. Okay, so a lot of people are confused about the thumbnail title and all that. YouTube has a system called A/B testing for thumbnails, and you can do it for titles too. So the reason everything's different is actually these were all options, like, right away. Like, all of the titles and stuff you've seen, they were all things I had. How do I? Is there a way I can, like, cycle through stuff, or do I just have to, like, put it all back like this? Okay, let me take stuff that I cannot apply very well to the Nether. Put it in a chest. Yeah, A/B system is meant to help figure out, like, what the most popular title will be, basically. Like, it's a system for, like, determining the optimal. So the three titles were, this actually was the Bite of 87, kinda. That one had a much more flat, like, image of, like, Fredbear biting the bite victim. That one, I really liked it when I first made that thumbnail. But I had my friend Tito and his partner on call when I was working on the thumbnail stuff for the video, and they were like, "That one's not bad, but like we should try some others." And I completely agreed. It was like, it didn't look. I wanted something like clean and like elegant looking, and it was. But I kind of realized I could have done something cooler. I had a joke thing because I wanted to still reference its origins in referencing Absolute. So I did the Absolute bite victim drawing, though it's very silly and zany looking. And that was like funny, but I'm like, I don't want people to just think this is a shitpost video. Oh wow, that's lucky. Because it's more than that, you know? Yes. Move the water bucket, move lapis. Food's very much something you want. Actually, let me unpack, like, all of this. I need more gold. Is one thing kind of worrying me. But the final one, and this is the one I immediately realized when I finished it, and we were in call, and we were like, this is the one. Was FNAF 4+2. Two sides of the same story. I immediately realized that was going to be the final cut. Like, Moth, the other person on call, jokingly said, you should give Fredbear an eye like Sans. And I'm like, actually, that makes sense. Fredbear has a blue eye in the movie. And I threw it in there and just added some, like, motion blur to it to, like, give it that kind of streaky, like, astigmatism look to it, I guess. I don't know how to call it. But it looked sick as hell, and I was like, this is it. And then Tito recommended, like, oh, can you put, like, 87s in the background? And I'm like, that would look sick as hell, and I did, and it was a really cool little experiment. As fun, like, as funny as the Absolute drawing was, with the bite victim being jacked as shit and all that. Like, it had limited application in an actual video. This. I should probably have more food after this. Alright. Nether time. Yeah, hello, Rosemary. Okay. Nether Workforce is actually a really great spawn. Let's do 48, 49, 40. 48, 49, 40. Another portal. Now, I think speedrunners have, like, a trick that I don't fully understand that, like, checks for mob spawn stuff. And like I said, I don't fully understand how it works. I don't know why I did that. I might as well just make that a crafting table. It's wasting inventory space if I don't. I'll need to, as fast as possible, get a gold helmet, because piglins will fuck you up in hardcore. If I've, like, learned anything, it's that they are scary as hell in that regard. In fact, that should... There's a lot of the nether stuff is really hard to deal with in hardcore. I might even... What is the... Nope, wrong thing. What is the... Why did I get rid of my sticks? What is the iron spear stat-wise? 3... Is it slower? Admittedly, I don't fully understand. Is attack speed... So it's faster. The bigger number is faster. I should make an iron sword, though. Okay. Have that so I can switch to... I can get the leading strike with the stone axe. Switch over to sword and then play with that. And we do have to kill Endermen. Wow. Because, you know, not only do we want ender pearls to, like, obviously get to the end portal and all that, like, the obvious applications, but we need to be able to save ourselves in a lot of dire, scary situations. That's not worth it. But these guys are. Can you walk around to a... One down. Okay. There's Salt Delta. How do I cross all this without wasting an... Like, I could just build. Like, obviously, whenever I say something like that, I mean, like, I could just build. But... I'm just, like, worried about, like, a gas or something appearing and, like, completely nuking me. Okay, I'll just build. Maybe it's just... I would say save your theory for your video, but like maybe talk about it in maybe in my server or other servers, whatever, like people you want it to like hear it. It's always good to get like ideas on it earlier. Okay. So far, no gas. Nothing that, like... I'm starting to realize a very big problem with my choice of building materials. I don't know what I expected. Well... Let me... this is not a convenient way to parkour around this world. Especially when I only have 2 ender pearls. If I had more, I think I would be more willing to just, like, ender pearl around for time efficiency. But... I'm, like, already out of blocks. I did not think I would be stuck, like, wandering around this much. Without, like, the ability just to walk, like... let me rephrase that. I fully expect while I'm in the nether to be wandering around like crazy, because that's just how the nether is. That, like, the nether is one of the most confusing, like, endless, like, labyrinth-like zones in the game. But I kind of expected I would be doing a bit more, like, walking and wandering. Like, rather than having to build across almost every single gap I see. Because if I recall, isn't it the nether updates actually, like, the crossway point where it's generally considered harder to speedrun Minecraft? Because the nether is so much more difficult to traverse and the nether fortress isn't as common. Well, the wastes are there. Some piglins. Hey, buddy. Fire charge. Leather's not a bad pick. Take leather. I'm gonna need buckets more gold, though. How do I acquire that without pissing off the entire army? This is in line of sight. I have trouble telling sometimes. Is that their angry noise? I'm a little worried that was their angry noise. Okay, now I think I'm remembering when the people talk. So yeah, I think it's not... Wow, the nether looks cool with distant horizons. Anyway, sorry, that struck me. But yeah, if I recall, it's not that it became slower, it's that it became harder to get good runs, because while it's faster, I think, with the forests being present, I think it's with, like, with the Ender Forest specifically, combined with Ender Pearl trading and all that, it's like you can get it faster depending on your spawn, but finding a fortress, I think, takes a lot longer and can kill a lot of runs if you're not just lucky. In my experience, a lot of my hardcore stuff gets to the nether pretty easily. but I'm just kind of stuck here for usually most of the playtime of the hardcore playthrough. And that's usually what kills me, is like I run out of food, I get to the fortress, but I'm too ill-equipped from being worn down. I should start collecting mushrooms to bypass some of my food limitations. So if I can do that, just get a soup around. I can't extinguish fire with... That's dumb. Is it even worth... This is another thing I'm considering, is it worth... It's probably not, mining the nether quartz for the experience, for like a potential enchantment table. It'd be wild if today of all days I finish a hardcore run after like years of trying it on and off and never really succeeding. Because I didn't like warm up for this. I didn't like boot up Minecraft to like practice for a bit and I'm like, I should stream this. I was just like, I want to play Minecraft and I want to stream. I'm going to stream Minecraft. New video came out today. It's like good cross promotion. Spears can't... The spear seems like a very strange item balance-wise. They seem very, like, useless if you're not trying to break them. If that makes sense. I guess it makes some level of sense. Where is that ghast? Like, you don't want them to completely replace the current arsenal of items. Like, it would suck if every item became completely obsolete because of the spear. That said, I have no clue how... Oh, there's a fortress. Fortress? Okay. Well... There's that. And there's even kind of a pathway to it, potentially. Alright, before I go into the fortress, I need to find some piglins and do a lot of trading with the gold I have right now, because the trades actually can be quite useful for the fortress. Especially fire resistance. That's the main one I'm looking for. Fires, like, ender pearls, obviously great. Like, you always want ender pearls. Maybe one of the best items in the game for its versatility. Let me get multiple together. But, you know, nether pearls are also, or not nether, ender pearls are also a commodity, you know? See, this is the stuff I'm looking for. Already good first trades. And I can potentially portal out of here. Do more of that, please. I can't even use the respawn beacon. I don't. That's just kind of a traversal block, I guess. Honestly, if I can get enough to portal in and out, that would be great. Like, I can't even... Yeah, this is just a building block to me. Blackstone's not bad. Spectral Arrow's not bad. I don't have any string, though. Do you guys have string? Alright, then. I now have a bow. Which I think will fully replace... This is Soul Speed 3. Oh, come on. That was not a bad trade, honestly. I didn't get any Ender Pearls, which sucks, but... I will take some arrows, a bow, effectively, from the string. A fire resistance potion is probably the biggest thing out of that. And a lot of building blocks. This is a great run, honestly. Like, it started very rough in terms of spawn location, but, like, the more I'm really thinking about it... Oh, they have spears now. How do I get over there, though? Because I can get down there, then... I mean, those connect over there, so if I just can get down here... I don't want to... Just because it's a rare, like, resource. I don't plan on really doing stuff like potion crafting, but... Bowls. Okay. Now... It looks like this just all connects. Or at least it should connect better than where I'm currently at. I'm also... Part of the reason I want to stream Minecraft a little bit is because Hytale is coming out soon. You mad at me? Why? I didn't mind any gold. Okay, you're not mad. You're just behaving weird. What the hit? That might be a potion of regeneration if I can... Oh. Well, that's still cool. So this should just be, like, straight through here, right? Ooh. That's diamond only, right? But let me... Let me take a picture of that. But it's... negative 287 60 330. Negative 2 7 287 287 60 330. Alright. Yeah, I would need to go into a bastion, which is scary, but that's... I mean, it's more just, like, the idea that I found netherite's cool, you know? Okay, I just want to make sure I have, like, a good exit plan to escape the fortress. That... let me get torches out so I can just, like, mark off what I've gotten. That... Once again, just in case I actually do want to do potion crafting or I get, like, enough equipment for it, because it might be worth it. This is hardcore. Like, that's the thing you can't forget. It's like... Minecraft all seems... This is hardcore, right? Yes. Yes. Okay. I was a little worried for half a second there that I was on the wrong setting, because I felt like I was... There's the fucking hearts! What the hell's wrong with me? That's like the most unique defining feature. Oh, come on, really? I mean, if it's going to take an inventory spot, I'm not going to take it. Well, most defining feature of hardcore. One down is the hearts, and I completely blanked on it. What do I sub out? I sub that out. Oh, come on! I guess I'll take my normal iron out. I mean, who knows if I'm even going to find a horse, but it's the principle that I found it, you know? What about blazes? Did they look weird? I don't have a texture pack. Do I? Programmer, high contracts, mod resources. No, yeah. No, it's fine. Oh, it's Christmas! Hey, everybody! It's funny. We hit 12, so it switched to Christmas. It's all gift boxes. Or it's not Christmas, it's Christmas Eve. Okay, get those suckers off the table. Get myself more arrows. Dodge that. I guess it's because I refreshed the resource pack, so it actually updated. Are you kidding me? Gravel. Gravel's not really a super useful building block, but... Blazes look normal, I don't know. What's weird about the blazes? That's going in the black bag. I don't think I'm going to be able to fight the Wither. But I'm also not going to pass up a chance. one thing I'm starting to weigh a little bit, and it is a genuinely like concerning aspect of all this to consider. How do I get back? Fire damage. Okay, 5. I need at least 6, right? Fuck, fuck, fuck. Fuck, fuck, fuck. No. 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 That was very close. Very bad. Okay. I need my hearts to be 6 times more full than they are. Could always trade for obsidian. I think trading for obsidian is kind of my long game route. I only need like 6 more. So. Fuck. That's just like a death sentence. Yeah, okay, so I 2-tap if I have a crit on each, which isn't that hard. It's honestly, the blazes aren't even that scary of enemies. It's the burn damage combined with the potential wither. Okay. That worries me significantly more. So I'm up to 9. I think I can work on bailing now. Let me get this last one who just spawned. Okay, well, that didn't get me anything. I need to get out of here. I'm pushing my luck a lot here. And I shouldn't even be here. Like, I shouldn't go into the red forest. The red forest is scary. It'll freak me out. But, you know, main mission done. We have to just get back to the Ender Warped. Get some gold, like, grind some gold. Pretty sure it was this way, yeah. Okay, let's get the hell out of the Nether. I know that was kind of a boring run or interpretation. I don't know. What the fuck you? I don't know what I should say. I know that was kind of a cheap tactic, you could say. But I consider it playing the game right. What I really need now... I didn't even need the... I say that, but let's not get cocky. Okay. Can you give me enough to escape the Nether? Because then I can just walk back to my other portal. I'll take that. Are you kidding me? You are cruel sometimes. Splash potion's actually pretty great. I think these... Okay, I'm a little bit closer to escaping the Nether. Those piglin zoglins, what are they called? The big... The big scary pig monsters. I think I'm gonna have to trade my way out. Like, navigating back to the original portal, while possible, I don't think is a very efficient or even safe route. And exploring, I think, has some benefits and merits. Especially if I can find another warped forest. Or particularly get more gold. Can't find more non-red mushrooms. Because that really should be my ideal food source, and I'm not finding it. That's scary. I don't want to deal with that. I don't really want to... I'm kind of wasting arrows now that I think about it, but I just more really didn't want to deal with magma creams. Magma cubes. I don't even plan on going down there. I just don't want any chance that those things mess me up. Plus, they're good target practice, I guess. Alright. I cannot speed bridge, but I kind of wish I could there. Can I... I'm sorry. Dang it. I didn't want to be attacked for trying to... How big is their gold sense? If I can just trade my way out of here. Is it line of sight or is it block based? have a feeling it's probably knowing how the team tends to program Java. It's probably like a 16 block radius of like gold being destroyed around them. Like I am a Let's try next batch of items. This actually must be very like I assume water bottles are very valuable to piglins. Considering it's like absurdly, like impossibly rare to their world. So, admittedly, I don't really have a use for it. That might be helpful. Honestly, I don't even know. You place them in water, right? And then, how do I make a saddle? Does just any saddle work? I don't know why I'm doing this. I should just go the other way around. Almost. Okay. I will say, I'm starting to feel good about this run. I don't think I'm gonna win still, but I think this might be one of the closest I'll get for a while. Yeah, special saddle. What do I need with the saddle? Like what's, because that can be very useful to have a happy ghast. Is there a way to cycle? Okay. In fact, while I'm at it, I was thinking of making a new axe, but I don't think I will, actually. I think I'm too tight on inventory space. I don't think I saw it drop anything. Yeah, if someone can fill me on how I craft the Happy Gas saddle. 3 leather on top, 2 wool in the middle, 2 glass blocks either side. Okay. That's not that bad. I can do that. If it was, like, required a nether star, that would be another story. Everything. I don't need nether quartz. I don't need the pig KGB coming after me. Where's the... Is there really no way to cycle through the bundle? That feels like an egregious oversight in the design of the bundles. I guess they don't want it to be too convenient. But it's not like you're getting a full extra inventory space, you know? I might just torch the stone. It's a stone spear. It's like I can easily make another if I wanted. Let me try to trade these 8 more, because any of these could finish off my portal requirements. And the guys are gone, so I can get this gold now. Speaking of nether stars, can I say, I think they might be like the most overused like item in mod making for like something that's like not necessary to be in most things. I think one of the only times I felt like it was kind of a logical item requirement that like fit the flavor of Minecraft very well was the I don't remember who made it, but it was a mod. It was the portal gun mod. I think that requires a nether star, and that's one of those like, it's like that's actually a fair call. Like it's supposed to be like powered by like a contained like black hole in I'm gonna have this ready. My theory was correct. We are good. This is more dangerous than I thought it would be. That was like one, but it's like I feel like there's a lot of like use it to craft your spell book level 4. Then it's like if I've beaten the Wither or equivalent bosses, what do I even need the spell book for anymore? It's kind of one of those like you get the best item in the game, but it's only after you've basically beaten it. Which is like cool if it like you want to finish some like final objectives and stuff, but sometimes it really annoys me where it's like, why did you do this? Go into that. Okay. Now all of you, I command you. Am I allowed to kill Hoglins without them going berserk? I feel like this is one of those things they would have a reaction to. Ooh, ender pearls. More frying obsidian. Blackstone, more building blocks. Can you guys save your new buddy who just gave you a lot of precious gold? That'd be much appreciated. Okay, good. I'm just a little worried that I will not be able to fight back against the Hoglins in the event that one just like runs at me and then it deals half my health. Because Hoglins actually do hit like that, particularly like that hard. Put that in the other bundle. What am I doing this for? I wanted wood for some reason. And I'm now not remembering why. Actually, just get this pulled down here. Oh, it's because I'm missing my boat. That's why. I mean, we're almost there. We're almost out of the nether. It's funny that the main thing you usually go to the nether for is not what's slowing me down. What's slowing me down is my inability... Like, I might have actually been able to leave the nether if I just went for the coordinates. Yeah. Actually... You're gonna be my volunteer here. I get, like, what, 6 out of this? 7. Buddy. You might be able to help me get out of here. I don't even... I don't need that. I can't even mine that gold because you're going to attack me. Where do I go now? Well, this is actually... I guess I do remember this area. Like, I can start actually backtracking now. I have enough blocks to build, so I might try going for that. let's see, what's the initial forward? Basically 50-50-50. So that way, that way. Just keep going that direction. I will basically guarantee escape. That way I'm a little less RNG dependent on my progress for escaping the Nether. Because it's working. I'm getting like I'm almost through it, but if I could actually save a portal for traversal to the fortress, that would be great too. I might have to make another bundle just for like all the random miscellaneous blocks I have. That's the better way forward. Oh, that is flat. Nope, nope, nope. Fuck it. I can just swim in lava. I have potions to burn. I might as well use them. I just need to like make a mad dash for where the portal loosely is. I can actually find soul sand. Oop, there's a warped forest. I don't know if it's the same one I had. Be able to escape this way. I have decent experience if I do end up getting crafting stuff. I have fire resistance. What the fuck am I doing? I have it for another minute. Let me just like okay. I'm just trying to figure out where like the one block gaps are. Like, if I have this resource, let me put it to the limit, you know? This is not an efficient system of travel. This worked better in my head. Oh, so on the topic, let me actually read some chat. Do you think Mike was aware of the experiments prior to William's experiments? That's actually one of the things I'm really personally not sure about, and that I find very poorly explained by the canonical games and stuff. Because it doesn't seem like there's a good explanation of how the Nightmare Chambers would work, assuming that's what they even are. I'm almost, and maybe this is, you can call this regression, and I shouldn't think this way. I should take Tales from the Pizzaplex for like the lore it's trying to convey, even if it's not the game continuity or whatever. I almost want to say that what Tales from the Pizzaplex was saying about the observations is just not canon to the games. It's just a way to, like, I don't even know. I don't know what I want it to be or say, I guess. I just, trying to fit the stuff Tales was talking about is frustrating and pisses me off. Because the application doesn't actually make a ton of sense. Like, I guess it makes William responsible for the Nightmare Chambers, and it explains how they could know how Fazbear Entertainment can know about them or whatever the hell. Come on. It's a good thing you guys can't teleport while you're in those. Okay, so I should be like right around where the portal is. So I should start really grinding Ender Pearls out. 7. I think I want to aim for about a stack. They're just such a good resource to have. Just got like a frame boost out of nowhere. I think it's because these are preloaded chunks, so it's not spending any processing to make, like, it's able just to play at full buttery smooth power. Yeah, like, I know that the Nightmare Room obviously exists. Well, what I'm saying is what I'm almost having reservations about is that they're experiments to torture people the way Tales from the Pizzaplex implies with Rory. Because it just doesn't... That was scary. I don't even know how I actually looked at him, but that almost was a run under. I guess my point is it just feels like a dead end plot point, you know? Like, he makes the Nightmare Chambers, then what? It explains how Michael, who already has a perfectly logistical explanation for having nightmares, can have nightmares. The only thing it really does is it gives William some blame for them. And I'm kind of unsure what's the point of that. I guess just to tie into the Ultimate Custom Night line? I mean, no, Ultimate Custom Night would have to be referencing the Nightmare Chamber as being like a sister location thing, presumably. Oh. I guess it's... I need to consider it's like, just because I don't like an idea doesn't make it not canon. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like, it just feels like too complicated in a way that doesn't elevate anything. Like, sometimes adding weird, complicated details does, I think, actually add to stuff. Do I have any Blackstone? No, I don't. I'm going to have to make this out of iron, which I don't have a lot left of. I mean, I have enough for a shield in a pinch. I swear, I think this is going to be a run where I beat the entire game without finding diamonds. Is that just like a weird Enderman sound? 9. Do I have to make gold weapons at some point? Because that's a genuine possibility that we're creeping up on. I suppose if I get to that point, I might as well just leave the nether and like regroup to the main portal. 10. Theoretically, this is almost enough. If I got incredibly lucky, but I don't want to bank on that. I don't want to have to go back and forth between the nether, like, constantly grinding. Oh, there's the portal. Okay, so we can reset ourselves anytime we need now. Like, we have the out. That makes me feel better. Yeah, like I said, it just feels like it tries to make William even more evil and even more at fault for stuff that he doesn't even need to do for like the story to make sense, and in fact complicates the story by making him like even more over the top. One more. One more day. One day more. For minimum. For minimum. I want to go a little bit beyond minimum. I'm assuming at least like 2 pearls will break. Good thing you Endermen don't really care about each other. Like I said, I want to go for about 16. About 1 stack. Which would give myself a little bit of wiggle room in the event that stuff breaks. Here's the thing. The reason I don't want to listen to like a big new theory, especially if you're making a video on it, is I don't want to like give. How do I explain this? If you really care about like credit and you want it to be your theory, I would rather be wowed by someone presenting something I've never heard before in their video. They get all the credit and all that. Like I don't want the debut of your concept or the shoot down or rise of it to be on my random stream at 3 a.m. if that makes sense. Like Game Theory did a great explanation of like the ecosystem of YouTube. That's kind of hard for some people to understand. Is sometimes people think of a system as a limited resource game when it really isn't. Like, for example, let's say you have a competition to collect Oreos. Fuck it, like just any resource that there's a limited amount of, and there's 60 Oreos. They're all around a room. Everyone has to run and scrounge to get all the Oreos they want. And they have like 20 minutes to do it. So there's only 60 Oreos. There's a max of 60 you can get, and it's just whoever has the most Oreos by the time 20 minutes are done. Like let's say that's a competition in that game. That's a closed game. There are limited resources. People sometimes interpret YouTube like that, where there's only those 60 Oreos. Let's say those are equivalent to viewers in this case. However, it's not. because while there is a limited amount of people in the world, each person can watch multiple things. And since they're not going to watch every YouTube video ever produced, like, there's no... The time resource, the only limited factor in that, like, how much time people have to watch videos, you can't really control that resource. You can try to steal it by making more manipulative or whatever videos. But at the end of the day, like, multiple people can win in the YouTube system and all that. Like, make your video. Be the first to present it to a lot of people. Like, don't have it just be quietly presented on this stream. You know. I also find that this is not a great environment to pitch videos. Like, people have pitched theories to me in the chat before, and I usually really struggle to understand what they're saying, even if it's not a bad idea. Come on. I mean, I have splash post, and so it's like I wouldn't have died there, but that would have been a bad moment. I mean, I was worried about being beaten to the FNAF 2 and 4 video and all that, but I sort of realized it's like, if multiple people are onto the idea, like, let's say, like, 2 people invent the light bulb or whatever, and they do it in a vacuum, like, it's 2 different countries, they don't know each other. Everyone still gets electricity at the end of the day. Like, if you're... Like, at least as long as people figure it out, who cares? Unless you really want to make YouTube your career, and you're banking on this video being your big breakaway, which is... I wouldn't put too many eggs in that basket. I like... It's like... sometimes I've wanted that to happen, I'm like, nah, I need to remember it's probably not. Did all the Endermen go extinct? I'd also like to point out that people make repeat videos all the time that other people have made. Like, it just happens. Dual process theory is literally just old Reddit theories about Cassidy Victim compiled into one video. I mean, there's more to it than just that, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, I consider a lot of that not stolen work, but it's not like the debut of any of those concepts. Okay, unless I see another Enderman, I'm going to walk back with this. I would say if your goal is just to make a theory video to be popular, don't go that route. Because I personally will, like, every time I have a video that's like, I solved the lore! Like, I did that on my first video, because to me that was just how videos were supposed to be, I guess, in my head. Because that's, like, how game theory often titles their stuff, and my first video was very based on how game theory did their stuff. Just dumbed down to my level where I couldn't quite edit or make something... Where'd my bed go? Where did... I had a bed. I guess I'll have to run to the village real quick. But I personally really do not like videos when they're titled like that, and maybe you'll get some success with that. But the other thing I'll note, if your goal is just to be popular because of videos, and that's why you're worried about doing it in time, I might be able to... My other major note is... Ugh, my brain. Right. Usually that leads to like this kind of circular, you get it all out in one burst, and then it doesn't sustain typically. Hey, there's my 16th. This is... Every time I see one of those big 8-hour videos that does the entire FNAF lore in one sitting, what's like happened like almost every single time. With minimal exceptions. People make the video, it gets viral, it gets 100, 200, 500, a million views or whatever. The count doesn't really matter here. And people are like, holy shit, they're the new big theorists, they're the next game theory. And then they have nothing to follow it all up with. There's the bad. I don't know why I reset spawn point. Because they put everything into trying to make waypoint transmit range. What? They put everything into trying to make one big viral video that completes like their entire compendium of the lore, and they didn't give themselves time to learn pushback to their ideas at all, which I think is the biggest one. A lot of those big theory videos are almost come off as rough drafts, even if they're super polished and like well refined, because they typically are in their own head for a lot of the video's production, in my experience. How the fuck do we have 50 viewers? What the fuck happened? The last I looked, there were 4 people watching the stream. It is 1 a.m. PST on the 24th. What are you all doing here? Anyway, that flashbanged me. That caught me off guard. I feel like they kind of blow all their load on like having their big thoughts. It's all in their own head. They had their vision of the timeline, and it was never going to change because they never had the ability to get the pushback on it. Like as much as it sucks to get negative comments and stuff, it does help you get a sense for like what might be your faults in interpretation. Like I've often found that something will make sense to me, and then I'll push it a little further and I'll experiment with some, and I find it's like a lot of people don't get the idea I'm going for. And if it's too hard to convince people on, it's probably not worth doing so. Like, it takes time to like sort out things, get other ideas, and get pushback and all that. And it gives you better understanding how to explain things. What is that over there? That isn't a mycelium biome, is it? What is red like that? If you've already written out an hour-long video about the whole timeline, or over a whole hour, go ahead. I just say, like, my one word of caution is don't get too ahead of yourself. Because typically I find everyone's timeline, no matter how practiced of a theorist they are, there's one part that makes everyone go, what the hell are they talking about? As I said in like my first Midnight Mojo video, there's always the part of, what are they on about? Like, it happens every time without fail. It's the reason I've never really done a timeline video. It's like, I've never been in a state where I'm like, this is what I want to present as the full timeline. There's always one part of the story where I'm like, I'm not satisfied with my understanding of this. And stuff like that. It's just a limitation of the series, and if that's your first video, my personal fear is that's the impression people will be stuck with for a long time, and that's why that's my other reason I don't really like those video formats. Is that first jank impression that's always going to be slightly off is going to be what people know you as, and you're going to have trouble following it up. You're not going to have a good content pool because you already talked about the whole timeline and your whole thoughts and everything. And that's assuming you want to be popular. Like, if that's your route, if you're doing this to be popular or to have a YouTube channel you recursively upload to, doing it all at once, I do not think is a good strategy. Where are sheep? Because YouTube doesn't care about one good video. Usually it doesn't. It will happen every now and then. But unless you're betting on that happening every time, it's not going to do what you think you want. And that's assuming you want to actually be on YouTube and all that. Like, but if you're just doing it to get your ideas out there, you're really passionate about this interpretation of the story and you want to share it, you don't plan on actually being a long-term YouTuber, then I think those big videos are actually totally fine. Because you're just doing that because you want to express that, you know? You want to express your thoughts on one of your favorite series, for example. But if you're worried about, like, someone beating you to the punch, don't worry about it. Like, if the fan base figures out the thing you're passionate about, then you win. Even if you don't need to make a video on it. And if no one actually makes a video quite like what you have in mind, then you still get to be the first to present it your way. That is a mushroom biome. What the hell is this seed? I'm assuming that's a bamboo forest, just textured weird because of distance horizons. Well, ooh. Yeah. Those are my thoughts. I said, if you want to make a lot of videos and you want to have like a proper YouTube channel and not just a single viral video, I would say don't do it all at once. If your goal is to make you just want to make your complete timeline, that's what you care about, go ahead. I want to grab a little bit of copper here before I head out. Not in the stream, just out of this pit. This is a cool little spot, but I'll need... I'm trying to think about what I want to do now here. Because I think, on a strictly technical level, I have the equipment needed... Or I have the ability to just progress to the end right now. What I think I'll actually do is I'll track down the fortress. I'll set up like a base there. And then I'll start kind of grinding out a little bit of better resources. What would I even do for a full timeline? It's just one of those things that's crossed my mind multiple times. Why is the iron separated like that? Brown egg. What does the brown egg do that the normal egg doesn't? They keep adding shit to this game. And that's good on them. But also, sometimes things happen and I don't know what I'm supposed to do them. I'm looking for sheep. I just remember that's what I'm doing. Bones, water, egg, boots, leather, furnace. Let me try and get the happy gas stuff. So it's that. Do I need the glass to do it? I need the wool to do it. I'm at quite an impasse here. I need the happy gas to find a sheep to get the wool, get the happy gas. I can make it. I can make wool. I can make wool. Harness. Okay. That leather bitch. Does it need to be colored? No, it doesn't. What color do I want it to be? What do I have available? I think I would like it to be teal, but I don't think I'm gonna have that option as an option. Let me just make it red. I have kind of like a nostalgia for like a lot of things being like red in Minecraft. How do I tame? Does the happy gas just tame to me if I just like save it? Or let's see, what's that way, that direction. Okay. What are items? I need to start sorting out stuff I'm like never going to see again. Let me print screen. I guess while I'm waiting for the gas to come to life, I'll hunt fish. Because I need a lot more food again. So let me try to kind of gather my bearings and think on this some for what my total strategy is. My armor is actually in great condition, all things considered. I didn't get hit a lot while I was in the nether. I blocked most of it with the shield. I can make potions. I have all the equipment needed to make potions. Do I want to take the potion stuff with me, though? I think I'll take, like, glass bottles, maybe, and like a water bucket, I think. And then, if I have any ender rod, nether rods, what are blaze rods? These ones. That will cover that. I have a bed. I don't plan on doing bed strats with the ender dragon, because I don't... like, I don't really have, like, the mastery over the speedrunning stuff to do that. So I get a lot of salmon. I have some good food items in the form of, whatchamacallit, in the form of the mushroom soup stuff. So that will also cover me some. I'm assuming I got an achievement for happy gas, right? Probably takes like what, like 10 minutes to wake up or whatever. I'm trying to remember. I do sometimes keep up with the additions to the game. I'm just trying to remember what they were in this case. Oh, and I've got the watermelons, which I can use. Oh, it's weird. Okay, it was just lag. Should cover me there. I guess another thing I need pretty badly, I would say, is I needed like a better way to deal damage to the Ender Dragon than what I currently have equipped. I need more stuff on my bow. How you doing, buddy? I'm glad they finally added an aerial vehicle to the game. I don't care if it's not very fast, just like the idea that I can't, like, I can just traverse, I think is worth it to me. Especially, like I said, in a hardcore run where it's like the ground is death. There's so many enemies when you're traversing. So need some kind of new major weapon. I won't need the shears. I can ditch the shears. I can make glistening melons, can't I? This? Okay, yeah. That's cool. But if I really want to push that, I'll need more gold. I think salmon might be the better food source. I'll keep them all. They're all useful. So, glowstone can be used for potions. Can't put that. Obsidian might be eventually useful. I'll put that there. How do I make spy glass? Let me get a copper ingot, because I do want the spyglass, whatever it's called, telescope. What am I missing? I have glass, I have copper. What else does it use? I'm glad people like the theory. I was a little worried about this one in particular, because I felt like it was not a stretch. I actually don't feel like it's a stretch of all things. I feel like I've made theories that were more of a stretch, honestly. I guess my worry with it was too much of like an inherent, like, first hurdle. Like, once you get past the initial kind of weirdness of it, I actually think it's a pretty easy to understand theory. However, I was just a little worried that it's like that initial first push, I thought might have been too much for people. And it doesn't seem like it really was, which I'm glad. Leather is actually pretty useful. A stack of sugarcane's not a bad thing to carry. What would I use a flint and steel for? I might take some random books. Take the Wither Skull, it takes 1 slot. If I take the water bottle, it's not bad, and I just store it. I mean, yeah, I don't feel bad about the dual worlds thing, because we literally are told there's something called the flip side, so we know there's at least two planes that FNAF exists on and whatever in its story. Um, and I think the biggest revelation to me, the one that made me ecstatic to make that video, was the FNAF 4 teasers not being random or arbitrary. Because it's now what it changes the argument, because up to this point the argument was just like what did Scott change the vision to, like what was his thought process with FNAF 4. Because a lot of people just assumed he changed it, like that we just for whatever, that we just didn't get whatever you had in mind. Or something like that. I want a shovel just to farm gravel for arrows. Because it always has bothered me that Scott, it felt sloppy to me. It's like, why would you even, what point in development, like how, what I was stuck on is what would have happened to make FNAF 4 exist as a mistake, you know? Like, what timeline could have occurred? And I tried in videos to, like, think of scenarios that could have happened, and they made some level of sense. But they always paint Scott as a particularly bad planner in ways that don't always seem to be the case. Like, I'm not going to pretend Scott's an amazing writer. FNAF Movie 2 might be a good example of that. It's like, it's like the why there. It's like or not the why. Sorry, I'm getting words mixed up. That movie is a good example of, like, he's not an amazing traditional writer, very clearly, arguably even a bad one. Like I said, in a traditional sense, for creating fan service, I think he's pretty good at that stuff, and for creating decent horror setup and all that, especially combined with Emma Tammy's direction. But I didn't think he would be like what alternate theories imply is an even sloppier writer. You know, if that makes sense. Like, they propose a universe where Scott is such an, like, elaborately bad writer that it doesn't seem coherent with me with... And when I say writer, I don't just mean dialogue, I don't just mean written text. I mean, like, planning the series, considering it as one timeline. It's such... like, an almost childish lack of, like, foresight that would have to be the case for the traditional FNAF 4 timeline we've really thought about, that I'm now really reconsidering that entire understanding of that game. You know? I need feathers. Can I not eat glistening melon? Oh, I'm thinking of carrots! I mean, I guess I'll put those in the bag. I completely forgot that carrots are the one you eat. How long do you take? Well, I guess I'll do more, like, menial labor, I guess. Start looking for chickens. Just get a ton of arrows stocked up. And some extra food, I guess, but... you would think eating a whole chicken would be about as valuable as a slice of steak. But this game, Minecraft would lead you to believe it is a lot less filling. Like, don't get me wrong, steak's proportionately more filling than chicken is. That's what I'm saying. That's part of what I'm saying, though. It's like the teasers for the game very clearly revolve around Fredbear's Family Diner, or a location where Fredbear is the star at the very least. Like every asset plays into that to the point where how could we even think this is Freddy Fazbear's Pizza? Or Freddy's 2 specifically, the one from FNAF 2. So that would have to imply the bite was always meant to be different. Like there always was meant to be another bite. At that point, though, it raises the questions like, why? What was the vision for the other bite? Why make 2 bites unless there was some connection or importance between those 2? That was kind of one of the things I started to really think about that was bugging me. And then like I said at the start of the video, Frostbear on Discord just like mentioned the weird discrepancy in the call, and that got me thinking more and more about FNAF 4 and 2 being related. And it just kept clicking into place. Like it didn't stop lining up. That usually, like when I get 1 or 2 of those good connections, it's like there's the initial burst where it's exciting, trying to think what it would all mean and how it would all fit together. But it usually dies around at a certain point, and maybe it's good enough to make a video on, but it's like I feel like I'm missing. I'll often feel like I'm still not explaining one thing very well. It's minorly held me back from making a new Midnight Motorist video. I have my explanation, right? But I feel like there's a way I could confirm it that I haven't been able to, in a way. If that makes sense. Like I'm everywhere but like the coup de grace, like the final blow that I need to like cement the theory. Maybe not forever, but like with enough longevity that I won't have to like revisit it again to keep updating my points like every year. Which I don't mind that process. I actually do like revisiting videos regardless, but you know, I don't want. I think it comes off as kind of hollow if I'm just constantly pitching ideas without settling on something eventually that I think is the intent. Because even though I have what I think is the intent with me now, I want to be able to prove it a little bit better. The scariest thing about Midnight Motorist, I would say, and I would argue there's a lot of the fan base that wouldn't even want to begin to hear this. There is a complete argument from my point of view that Midnight Motorist was about all 3 minigames being connected, but also about the Afton kids. However, the only way that works is if Charlie, obviously, I found sheep, and now I don't need them, really. Is if Charlie dies the same day as the missing kids. If you want to have them all be one coherent story, you have to trade something out. Because if you, let's say you want to have Midnight Motorist be connected to Susie's minigame, or something like that. Well, then what about the Charlie connections? Then either you have a time gap between Charlie's death and Susie's death that just happens to be connected by the car, or something like you have to have them all be connected if you want to have something like that. However, I don't think people want Charlie to die on the same day as the missing kids. Is the big thing to me. Because to me, regardless, Midnight Motorist has connections to Security Puppet. Even if you want to argue Afton isn't the guy driving the cars for some reason, which I find the evidence for is very slanted in Afton's favor, personally. You would have to acknowledge the fact that it's like, okay, if these two mini games connect, why wouldn't the third? Is always what you end up with. If the car is connected to Susie's minigame, why wouldn't it be connected to Security Puppet? Why would only two of the minigames connect? If Security Puppet and Midnight Motors are connected, why wouldn't the third minigame that also involves a car be connected? And this is part of, like, I've almost wanted to make a video where I want to bash the novels a little bit more for what they've done to theorizing. There are so many diehard fans centered around the novel's interpretation of basically everything. And I can't entirely blame those people. I don't think the novels are like an entirely off-skewed, unreliable timeline or anything like that. However, I would also note that I don't see how they could be a particularly amazingly helpful timeline. It could be another kill of William. I don't think so. Because it's... Why introduce another murder at the last minute of a game that says it's all about tying up loose ends? Like, the game tells you that. It's not even subtext. It is just the text of the game. Like, the narrator that is Hand Unit says Fazbear Entertainment is committed to tying up loose ends. Why would... And the only loose ends the game doesn't address are the Golden Freddy related ones, which the Survival Logbook addresses and Happiest Day already kind of gave closure to. And then the, like, last thing is, like, Afton in Ultimate Custom Night. And even that's more like an epilogue to the story that already exists. No, it's like the murder of Foxy Kid or something. Foxy Kid seems to be Michael. I mean... you mean Foxy Kid as in Fritz? Or like Gabriel or something like that. I thought about that. I have a timeline that kind of works for that, but it misses the Charlie angle very bad. That there's... I guess to spoil something that's in the Midnight Motors video I've been working on and writing, someone named Lady Lucky Lou on YouTube found that Midnight Motorist, the main theme 240 bits per mile, is a sped up version of Alchemist Fantasy, which is Security Puppet's theme. So the connections are too strong there. Either you poke the sleeping bear that is Charlie dying the same day as the missing kids and acknowledge the full suite of connections, or there just has to be too many coincidences, in my opinion. To kind of explain what my best case scenario timeline, so you can hold one item, it just has to be... Okay. I didn't quite understand the rule. Hey, we did it! We got the guy. What do I do with this? How long does it take to grow? Can I put this on you? Damn it, we have to wait another 20 minutes. Hey, bud. What do I do with you? I guess I can just grind, like, equipment. While I wait for this guy to grow up. Because you are going to be useful. I just need to figure out more about that use. Hey, buddy, I like you too, but I need you to be bigger sooner. Snowballs? There's nothing snow related even remotely near me. How would I get snowballs? I know I need to, I just... Okay, fuck it. I think... Here, let me grab... Let me just pack my stuff up and just leave, like, entirely. Do I have the other crafting table? I do. Let me grab my other happy gas. I think I've misunderstood how this works some, and we'll just have to try again later. So this direction, right? We'll get there, we'll start grinding out, and then we'll find snowballs on the way for the second one. The true child. The chosen one. Because there's no snowballs anywhere in sight. We'll need to find a taiga. I also need to find more chicken. I need to find so many items I don't have. See, gaps like this are kind of why I want the happy gas. It's like I can go over the rivers. I can... like, I don't have to kind of climb up and down. I have to scale stuff. Pelt them with snowballs. Yeah, the mound is the second coming of the box in terms of, like, solving lore. And it's, in my opinion, the roughest spot for the missing kids being the runaway. The explanations present are possible, but they're very... They present a very strange timeline. What's in the box, Scott? What's in the box? Well, I presented my latest video, in which I have an explanation of the box I am quite proud of, even though I have some mild reservations. Like, it fits pretty much every description Scott's given of it. It ties really strongly into the Bite Victim storyline. I have... You... Are we just tame now? Yours. You seem like a good one. Ride with me, buddy. How do I... Ah, that's how it is. Okay. Well, maybe we're just not going to do the happy gas. Can horses swim now? I just realized I should also, if I'm writing a guy... Copper spear? That seems like a... That will seem fine for my purposes. Horses can swim now, right? And chickens. don't quite get attacking with the new spear sometimes. I understand the right click attack. What confuses me is the whatchamacallit. The main attack. It feels very finicky for the hitbox. One of the many things I am excited for about Hytale is improved combat. In general, Hytale I think is going to be a bit more of what I want Minecraft to be, kind of. I've always wanted Minecraft to have more of its fantasy adventure vibe to it. It has it, but it has a very quirky, like, weird identity now. In a weird way, I almost want something a bit more, maybe not generic, but something a little bit more traditional in terms of its, like, sense of fantasy. Come on, I can't even hit the chicken. Kill chickens, collect feathers. Come on. I know this is slowing down my ability to explore the game some, but I have quite the hazards ahead of me. Yeah, I know about Vintage Story. I just know it's not super welcoming in terms of its difficulty level and all that, so it's always been a little intimidating. Do you enjoy revisiting beta Minecraft? Every now and then. It's kind of interesting. Beta was not really the era I got. I kind of was. I think my first proper experience with the game was Pocket Edition, which was basically a retool of Minecraft Beta. To like make it fit and work on Java devices, they had to really like tile back the features. Not on Java devices, to make Java work on. I don't think it was iOS that I played it on. I think it was on a Kindle. A Kindle Fire specifically. Oh, are we already, like, here? Or did I just get very turned around? I mean, I wouldn't overlook the mound in theorizing. I do agree that I think it's sometimes overthought. But at the same time, I would propose that you have to account for every detail in theorizing if it's clearly presented to be a major detail. I have been lied to. Oh, no, okay. It's just weird. Particularly, it's like, the mound is there for a reason. Whatever your explanation, so like you can't just go there without an explanation. I think is my biggest point. You might wonder, is this truly more efficient than just climbing it myself? And the answer is almost certainly no. But I don't want to climb it myself. I really don't want it to be stuck in these like weird little valleys here. Alright. This is not a particularly efficient combat system. Yeah, I was really on the whole the mound is the situation bunker entrance thing for a bit. Or like will be, or is like a work in progress. One of my personal dissatisfactions with it though, is like maybe that's kind of what they're getting toward, like Scott's getting towards like later in the timeline, but there's something, I don't know, it feels like it should be even more significant, and also that has weird timeline implications. If Circus Baby's entrance already exists, I mean maybe it does because it seems to be potentially connected to Murray's costume man or stuff now. I don't know. It's a whole topic. I'll have to like properly start getting into it and like at its own video and stuff. But the reason I've been like hesitant, like the reason I shelved the Midnight Motorist video until after this video, is not only did I think this video was more like, you know, the Midnight Motorist video is at its core a remake. It's an update of my interpretation of things. Is that a break? Like, did it break? Am I missing it? Well, shit. No, that sounds like the noise it makes when it drops. Where did it drop? Well, shit. Hello, everyone. I still don't know how there are 50 people watching this. Guess it's the power of a decently successful video going out today. You can fit through that gap. Come on. This is a terrible place to have the fortress be, by the way. This is like terrible conceptually for trying to track it all down. God, Distance Horizons is so cool. Like, the fact that I can just, like, see all that. When inevitably, even if it's not in the base game of Hytale, when that's inevitably added into the game by, like, fan players and all that, and modders, that's going to be, like, I'm assuming it's going to be mind-blowing. Yeah, if anyone has bonus evidence for the theory I talked about, because I had a list of other things I had in mind. God, that was... that I nicknamed the Bone Pile, and I worked in a lot of the things in the Bone Pile to that video. Though there's a lot I also didn't really get to talk about still. It just didn't fit the flow of the video. A lot of them were a lot more ranty. Like, it was the same thing with the... I just realized I don't have a shield. That is such a stupid, risky... I don't even have wood. What is wrong with me? Um, I'll have to get that when I'm off this mountain. Unless it's here. No, it's very close though. It's when the Ender Pearl or the Eye of Ender curves that much. I do think the if Agony works the way Phasma Fright implied it did, those suits have to be all kinds of cursed and haunted. Like, not even just the missing kids influence, just like that was scary. That's the exact reason I was worried I didn't have a shield. I was terrified something like that would happen, where just something sneaks up on me and nearly kills me. Like, I imagine all of those suits are just turbo haunted. For the FNAF TCG, I've been writing an additional, like, it was supposed to be a short story. It's going to be kind of long now. If I fit in everything I want to put in it. I might have to slim it down, though. But it's called Forgotten Family. It's meant to be an origin story for some of the cards I want to make, which are semi-original cards. The premise of Forgotten Family is it covers a sort of what-if scenario with FNAF, with Follow Me, where William successfully dismantles the first 4 animatronics, as usual, but he fails to wear the Springtrap suit and just gets killed by the spirits. Which, granted, you can say, like, can the spirits even kill people? That's kind of an unknown. Sure. But, like, I just wanted to play with that as a scenario. It's like, what if they actually did get him? What if they stay broken and dismantled like that, but they... but he never becomes Springtrap, so we never do FNAF 3. I'm about 20 pages into writing it, and Maggie, I've gotten the main protagonist. I've gotten her to the pizzeria. She's encountered the other major character of the storyline. But I want a lot of the cards themselves to have the Agony mechanic, and how Agony works in the FNAF TCG is it's a special keyword that cards are noted with. And the kind of play style of Agony is a very, like, they collect themselves and kind of build up across the board. Like, you're kind of stockpiling them as a resource. If that makes sense. Like, how Eleanor works is every time an Agony card dies in play, it kind of swoops over to her and goes, like, into a stack she controls. And uses it almost like as a Planeswalker style resource for herself. And something similar, the Stitch Wraith is kind of the other way around. He stays on the board. He isn't, like, off of the map. And he kind of wanders around the map and, like, picks up characters that are Agony and kind of adds them to his own stack, which works a little differently. I mean, it's the same core mechanic where it's like he's like a Planeswalker. They're a resource he uses. But Stitch Wraith doesn't really get rid of stuff in the TCG. He just kind of adds them to his arsenal. And a lot of them have, like, certain abilities they trigger, like Agony Funtime Freddy from Count the Ways has the ability that you can remove cards from a stack to deal damage. So basically, like, you get that in the Stitch Wraith, then you can start removing the stockpiled cards, which you can stockpile very easily, very quickly, to deal progressive damage over the course of the game. He also has healing mechanics. And pretty good draw power, too. That's right around where I want. Okay, it's going to be about up there. It's not going to be that perfect. Does the Ender Pearl not float? Eye of Ender? Kind of does. Excuse me. So it should be right around here. Yeah, it's almost like, because the point of the Stitch Wraith storyline is that Jake and kind of Andrew, and Andrew's along for the ride, and he's kind of the explanation of how it all works, but it's really Jake going around trying to collect the agonized things Andrew influenced, so they won't hurt anyone anymore. Um, that said, the few times we've seen the Stitch Wraith really engage in, for lack of a better term, combat, it was pretty scary with the fact that it can just, like, make its hand glow red and burn people and stuff. So with Golden Freddy, I feel like it was always meant to be a missing kid. I have a hard time believing there were 5 kids included that were murdered in the first game's kind of setup and background lore stuff. Let's see if we can narrow down. Like, let's track to, like, the other side of this hill. Because I have a feeling it's going to curve back if I run far enough. Yeah, let's go as far as is convenient. Okay, so it's down there. And just to, like, confirm, since it hasn't broken and we have plenty. Yeah, so it's right. I'm going to use this tree as the marker. So we have the fortress tracked. We have all the equipment. It's really just the boss fight. So I have a feeling Golden Freddy was always meant to be one of the missing kids. Like, there's no reason to have 5 and then not imply the 5th, who doesn't have a clear character, isn't the only other character, you know? Like, if there's only 5 characters in the first game, there's only one thing they can be. Where did I put it there? Alright, so I won't be able to use the happy gas, sadly. It looks like I won't get the resource in time. I might be able to do some potion craft stuff. If I remembered to grab Nether Wart. Never mind, we are just doing the boss fight. Like, no special thrills, like, no fancy armor if we don't find any armor. Honestly, even the copper spear is kind of useless. You're so right, he possesses Sparky. I'm glad people find my video coherent enough to be like, yeah, I really like how you explained it all. That video, so stressful to make and work on. I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but it corrupted several times while working on it. I had to remake that video several times in total. I want to keep that tree as a marker and visual reference, so I'm gonna chop down another for making a chest and all that. So now this should help clear my inventory. Then we get 2 furnaces. Split it. Actually, let me put all the iron there and all the chicken here. Then we get the bed. Glass. Rotten flesh, I don't need that. Let me craft. I mean, I'm a little worried even that won't be enough. Got that. Got that. can ditch the spear. The spear's not going to be super helpful. Wow, I truly grabbed the least helpful of my remaining items. I mean, I can find diamonds, so I'm not going to entirely ditch all my equipment. Iron pickaxe. So also, among many things, might be one of my first playthroughs where I genuinely never find diamonds at the current rate it's heading. Music was great there for a moment. Doing very classic traditional building style, or digging style now. Like Tobuscus would do it back in the day. Not that anyone here knows Tobuscus. That was lag. I don't know what there was. I had such a similar script ready. I'm gonna crash out. Well, it's good to know that someone was gonna get to it at least, you know? Like, sometimes I have worried about that. It's like, what if I got in a car crash and I had the best idea ever and I didn't get to get it out? I've had thoughts like that before. Especially since I'm a delivery driver is my main job. It's like, I actually am at more risk than that than most people. But that, I guess that video is technically rushed, but it's also one of those, like, I just dumped all my time into it. So it's less that it was rushed, it was more that just I used every second I had on it, basically. Yeah, remind me to add your video to the description too, when it's done, so we can have like the two references of each other. It's like, it'll almost be like two separate research papers of like backing each other. And we're here. Oh, wow. Well, let's investigate the thing first. Wow, and I wasn't even lucky enough to... It's not enough, but... So let's see, one more? So we have two left. So we have two ender pearls left over. I don't want to go into that yet. I want to... If I have any chance of getting better equipment, I really need to take it. Let me also... kind of convert this into a well real quick. So I have the way out, but also... I also need a new sword. Like, any chance I find, like, diamond equipment... I still do not have a shield. What am I doing? That's the plan. I'm sorry, Elizabeth, if you even remember that name. It's a little sad we won't get Connection terminated in the movies, probably. We got a reference to it, at least. Have a nice stream. Have a nice day, Withered. Unwithered. Good luck on the video. Okay. Shield materials. Got plenty of iron, but probably need to ditch the gold helmet now. There's no reason to have it anymore. Like, I'll keep it just... because... but if you even still remember that name. It'd be so funny if I beat whatchamacallit, hardcore for the first time tonight. I still don't feel like I'm adequately prepared enough. I mean, there's... Because I'll also have to make a new iron sword and all that. There's that aspect to it all. Should be a chest up here. Is there not? Oh, yes, there is. Smite lunge. Knockback. Power's good. Knockback and fire protections. Smite Aqua Affinity? I mean, actually, Aqua Affinity will be useful because I'll be climbing a lot of things with water. Silverfish are a weirdly nostalgic, not in a quite good way, but a nostalgic enemy to me because they're such a weird little thing to throw in the game. Mark that way. Like I mentioned Tobuscus earlier, but like genuinely that was my, like that was I think the first YouTuber I watched, period. Not even the first Minecraft YouTuber, just first like YouTuber. And I think the first ever Minecraft video or not even Minecraft video, just the first ever YouTube video I watched was the Tobuscus video where he goes to the end for the first time. Like, I remember that vividly enough. I'm pretty sure I could find it. I don't think his channel's deleted or anything. Okay, that's... So I have like nostalgia for like that first like video. It's like especially the silverfish, like the weird enemies and just his excitement of like finding something new that was just added to the game. Because I'm pretty sure that was like around the time the Ender Dragon was even added as a boss, like a thing you could even find. I don't really have a use for redstone. Like, I don't have nether wart for potion making. I think the fact that they're also like such a hard enemy to hit makes like a very unique encounter feel for them. There's really nothing interesting in this fortress. Well, a little turned around. Huh. And obviously I don't want to go in it just yet. So, I have a ton of iron. I can use these enchantments. I need a new sword, obviously. Um... Okay, let's try... Let's see, how much would that leave me with? Okay. Okay, now, new sword. Let me even make an iron spear while I'm at it to get lunge. Piercing, power, knockback, fire protection. Do I even need, like, knockback? What's... Does sharpness stack with lunge? Or with the spear? Actually, I can test this. We can just test what... Since I'm making both anyway, just in case. Alright, let me see. Lunge, sharpness, 6 damage. 3 damage. This is not very informative. Any thoughts on this? Because this is important. Because lunge actually might be helpful for landing hits. Like, what should I go for? Um... I think I'll just go with sharpness, honestly. I don't want to risk losing sharpness. That's the more valuable enchantment. Knockback, fire protection. Let me also reset my armor some. Because I won't really need soul speed, as cool as it is to have it. I would rather have fresh armor that has no chance of breaking in the Ender Dragon fight. Let's get Aqua Affinity. Because Smite only works on undead enemies. Let's get Aqua Affinity on that. Then we want the bow, which I'm also going to make a fresh one for. I think I'll carry the old bow with me still, though. But for enchantments, I want 0 chance of... so yeah. Power, piercing. Oh, piercing doesn't work on? I mean, the power's still worth it. Knockback. I mean, I don't really need fire protection, but I might as well. The knockback's not going to do particularly much. I don't think the Ender Dragon even experiences knockback. Now, the last major thing I really need is, I would say another water bucket. I want to have 2. Hide that over there. Put the leather away. I'm not going to be able to use it, really. The extra blocks I think I'll keep just as like a backup, but I'm not... So another one of those, I'm not going to be able to use it very well. Ender Pearl, another thing I want to have like a backup on. Chicken. Lapis, I'm not really going to have a use for. String, sticks, not really. Bone, not really. Blaze Rod, not really. Fire resistance, I don't think works in the Fire Breath of the Dragon, but I'll keep it anyway. Watermelon, why not? Just extra food. Then both water resources. Got plenty of food collectively, honestly. I'm not worried about that part. Pickaxe could use more, but I don't have enough iron for that. I guess I didn't waste on the spear, really. I guess I'll carry my old boots. I feel like those are something very prone to failure in this setup. The last thing I really want, I would be a little afraid is running out of building blocks is a major problem with the Ender Dragon fight. So I'm gonna click that. On the topic of the princess, I will say, and the whole debate there, I am hesitant to support Princess Cassidy for a few reasons. If Cassidy is the vengeful spirit, right, then there's not really a rationale for them to stop tormenting William, unless we are arguing William is directly saved, which hinges on him being burn trap or whatever, or something like that, or him directly actually coming back. Cassidy has no reason to stop unless a scenario like that happens, which is weird, especially since it seems, unless, like I said, unless they actually do stick to burn trap being William and kind of change what I think is going on with the story, I don't see that happening. If Cassidy is not the vengeful spirit, then staying behind Duhaunt to like be around in the security breach era doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I don't really see what reason they would have to stick around if they're not the vengeful spirit, or like have some specific thing they're looking out for or afraid of or whatever. If I were to hazard a guess to who the princess is, I think my actual bet is it's Fiona. Maybe not actual Fiona, like original dead mom Fiona, but maybe it's a manifestation of M1 is the way I would think of it. Or is a form created by M1 or something like that. Well, bombs away. We're going into the fight. If this is not enough, which there's a timeline where it isn't. I don't know. I mean, Fiona is blonde, isn't she? Or does she have brown hair? I don't remember. I mean, hair color doesn't really matter here. It's a magic arcade cabinet. But it would make the most sense why it's opposed to Glitch Trap. Glitch Trap is a form of M. Don't do this to me. Ooh, this is a new loading screen. I mean, the purple rabbit goo seems to be a form of Glitch Trap, and Glitch Trap seems to be a form of M1 or M2. So I think it would, to me, it would make the most sense. If you had the two remnants of Edwin and Fiona respectively fighting over, the mimic body somewhat. Okay. Oh, the lighting is different. It's a lot more purpley now. This is sick. Oh, and you can even see the end stuff now. That's cool. Watch me just, like, crush the Ender Dragon. That would be so funny after all this preparation. Because I like to think I'm not good at Minecraft particularly. I just have enough experience to kind of bullshit my way through it. I'm not going to be able to cheat that one. Which ones do I not have? Yeah, that's my biggest point with William and Burn Trap now is, like, once you do that initial bit, right? Like, what's the end game after that, you know? Like, William's back, right? Fine. I don't really see what you do with the story once William is back, when nothing else in the story seems to be about him. Ooh, gotta hit it. Can I hit that one? Nope. No. No. Okay. What am I missing? That one and that one, I think. The two really tall ones. Okay, come on. It seems like it always goes over if I try to... Okay, I got that one. Oh, am I done with all of them? Okay, so it's just you and me, freak. Hurt you. Why did you go through that? Nope. Nope. Oh no. I might actually do this. I can't guarantee it. The dragon's breath really scares me. I need to get around this dragon's breath and it's not clearing. Honestly, I might as well... Oh, there it is. Of course. Am I out of arrows? Really? God damn. Well, I got the hard part with the arrows done. I just need to wait for it to perch now. It can't heal. I think my sword is way more effective than... No! No! I knew it was going to happen too, the moment it started hitting me. Well, have a good night, everyone. I'm glad people like the stream. I'm glad people like the new video. I'll look forward to making more videos in the hopefully near future. Hopefully it won't take as long to make a new one. But, that's that. That was so close. That's what pisses me off, is that it's like I was at the final step. Like, this was it. This was where it was supposed to end. Ugh.